Welcome to your On TV News Desk. Here in the studio this afternoon, I have Anette and Stephanie Katajamaki, mother and daughter power duo here. How are you ladies doing today?
Good.
Great.
Good. So we're here to talk a little bit about 100 plus women who care. It sounds like there's more than 100 women now.
Absolutely.
And also 100 high schoolers who care. So I know a little bit about what 100 Women Who Care does, but can you speak a little bit to what the organization's purpose is for our viewers who might not know?
Sure. So 100 Women has been around for about 10 to 12 years. Currently, there's over 600 chapters around the world, so we're really excited about that. The Sault Ste. Marie chapter started in 2016, and it was a way for women to get together after work, donate money, have a quick bite to eat together, have some fellowship, be out the door and be back home within an hour, hour and a half, and raise funds for those charities who don't have access to large pockets of money, perhaps aren't funded by ministries.
Right.
So it's just a great opportunity.
Now, and how is this extended to 100 high schoolers who care?
Okay, so I kind of got this as like a, I don't know, I want to say brainchild.
Okay.
At the 2 meetings ago, was it? Yeah, so my mom told me that I had to come and help, which is no problem for me. I love volunteering.
Right.
And I just really loved what they were doing, like as a group, and I just really saw, I don't know, there was a need for it in high schools, because not a lot of students my age know how to help others, and I see that they want to get involved,
Right.
they just don't know how to do it.
So how does it work for high schoolers? Do they meet 4 times a year, same idea?
We're still kind of planning
Working it
it out, but ideally it's going to be 4 times a year, like the women and the men.
Right.
The same kind of meetings after school, and then also incorporate in a community of like volunteering in the community. So maybe going to the charity we pick for the night, and just
spending
kind of,
some time
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. So, you host these events 4 times a year. Now, when was the most recent event? It was
In October?
in October?
Yes.
And which charity ended up receiving the funds?
So the charity in October was the Special Olympics.
Okay.
And we do have a local chapter.
Right.
And there's quite a few of the team members that are going to the Ontario Special Olympics. And so we're hoping that the funding will support those athletes locally, but also equipment purchases, the things that cost a lot of money.
Absolutely. And can you speak a little bit to the nature of these events? Like, how many women do you get that generally come out, and how much money do you normally raise? Are you able to share that with us?
Yeah, of course. So we do have more than 100 women coming out. Some of the women come out as single people, and
Right.
some of them have formed teams so
Okay,
that
cool.
they don't have to put the $100 down themselves.
Kind of releases some of the financial burden.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But probably we have between 150 and 170 women out a night, each of the 4 times we meet. And I did look it up. So we have raised over $121,000 to date for local charities.
Wow.
Since we began. In the last one, I wasn't in attendance, but Stephanie, do you remember the Special Olympics raised?
I don't remember the number. No.
Yeah, so they raise anywhere from $12,000 to about $18,000 in an
Pretty
hour.
consistently.
Yeah,
In an hour.
In an hour.
It's a really modern and progressive way to give back in like such a busy age when we don't always have time to go and host these different events, and
Right.
it probably raises more money than putting a lot into like a kind of a sale or a car wash or something like that.
Absolutely, and for the charity, it's amazing
win-win.
because the events take a lot of planning and a lot of risk that charities take, and they need volunteers. This is no work for them. They come that night. They do a presentation on how they think they're going to use the money.
Right.
And then when they come back the following meeting, they share with us all the wonderful things that they were
they've
able
done.
to accomplish with that.
And how do you pick the charities?
You want to handle that one?
So there's this whole process they go through and different requirements they have to meet. I don't know them exactly, but I believe the top one is that they have to be local.
Right.
And they have to be the groups that wouldn't generally receive the government funding.
And a registered charity with a business
Right,
number.
of course. That's always the
There's
important part.
Yeah.
Can you speak to some of the organizations that you have raised funds for?
The one, can I tell the Okay, so the one before, okay, we just had the meeting in October, and the one before, I believe the charity was Phoenix Rising.
No Limits Adaptive Ski Association.
Okay,
and
so
Ski
then
Ability
the
Algoma.
one before that was Phoenix Rising.
Okay.
No.
Oh, well, when was the Phoenix Rising one?
There wasn't a Phoenix Rising. You're talking about Women in Crisis?
Sorry. Yes, Women in Crisis. They, I wasn't actually there, but maybe you're better to tell the story, but I'm going to anyways. So they took the money that they received that night and they bought the locked boxes for their women's shelter.
Oh, wow.
And it was just really kind of empowering to see what they were doing with their money, because that's just such an important thing, especially for those women there.
And you got to see it like, this is the result of the fundraising. That's always such a great feeling.
That was probably the most amazing meeting,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking that's one of the reasons Stephanie was like, we could
Empowered
do
by
something
it.
like that, because these women go to the shelter with nothing.
Yeah.
And sometimes the only thing they have is their ID. And, you know, they've been in relationships or situations where they haven't had any power or control. So the very fact that they could lock their personal items into a safe that they had a key for while they lived there, it was very emotional.
Take a
that
sense of
meeting.
ownership over that.
Yes.
Now, we're going to take a short break and then we'll be back with Anette and Stephanie. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Still here in the studio with Anette and Stephanie Katajamaki, talking 100 Women Who Care, 100 High Schoolers Who Care. Now, we talked a little bit about some of the local organizations that have received money and some of the more powerful kind of moments. Can you talk a little bit about the impact that this kind of fundraising will have for a charity that might not receive grant funding, that might not have, a whole slew of people available to raise money? I mean, a lot of these organizations work on very limited staff.
Absolutely, if they have staff.
Yeah.
Some of the
On a volunteer
organizations,
run.
yes. So for them, we've seen their faces light up when they get picked. Then we see their faces light up that night when, you know, the dollars are rolling in.
Right.
For some of them, I think that it's probably so overwhelming, the amount of money they're able to raise just like that. They have great plans, and a lot of times they struggle to even get the programming off the ground because they just don't have the money.
Right.
Or they're using all their time to raise money instead of implementing programs.
Or it's keeping the lights on and the doors open.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
for sure. So I think it will be an amazing opportunity for these small charities.
Now, can you tell me about the next event, and are you able to say what charity has been picked?
We are. So the next charity for our January event is going to be Christmas Cheer.
Okay.
So that's really exciting because, we're getting the holiday season.
Right.
Yeah.
And that will take place January, do you know the date?
I want to say the 16th.
16th. And if people want to get involved, maybe they want to join, what's the process like, and how can they get in touch or sign up or find out more?
Sure. So it's a really easy process. We do have a website, 100 Women Who Care Sault Ste. Marie, and all the application information is there. So if you want to join as a member, there's just a short form you have to fill out, bring it with you to our next meeting. The dates of the meetings are listed. The charities that we've raised money for are listed. There's also an application form in case you're a charity that's looking to apply
get involved. Cool.
to get involved and perhaps be a recipient of the money we raise. There's also a form there that can be submitted, and it's like I said, it's a really
Pretty
easy
simple
process.
Perfect. Now, in addition to raising money and bringing awareness to these smaller local charities, I feel as though an event like this has other positive impacts on the community. Like, is there a sense of networking and camaraderie amongst the women? And then now, did the ladies group influence the men's group starting?
Of course we did.
Oh, of course.
We did.
So that's pretty powerful. Like, can you tell me a little bit about what the atmosphere would be like?
It's almost like
I'm gonna have to come to one.
You do have to come to one.
Yeah.
Now that you know how to join,
for sure.
It's almost like a party.
Yeah.
We walk in, the energy level is really high. People are talking. People are sharing how their day went. They have their checks made out ahead of time because they know the charity.
Right.
So they're not even scrounging for the money. It's
just
like,
relaxing.
here's my money. Sit at a table. There's no assigned seating, so people sit wherever they want, sometimes with their team, people they work with. There's always some pop or some water on the table. We always have a light refreshment. And people are just talking, and then when we start the formal part of the meeting, each one of us learns something new about that organization
Right.
and how they contribute to our community. And I mean, I've been in social services my entire life,
Yeah.
and I still learn something new at every meeting. It's like, I didn't know that charity did that. So that's pretty
And that makes it even
exciting.
more satisfying, I think, too.
Absolutely. And then I know some of the women actually leave and go out for dinner together and continue
Yeah.
their networking.
I think it's really great that not only is it giving back to the community, but it's actually helping to build more upon the community that we have, right? Like,
Absolutely.
And the men's group, did it just start this past year?
Yeah, the men's group is fairly recent, maybe
And they're
3
continually
meetings in.
growing, so that's very exciting.
Yep.
So if people want to get involved or get in touch, they can find you at 100womenwhocareSSM.com, I think is the website.
It's actually 100womenwhocareSSM.com. Yeah, you're
Perfect. So you can
perfect.
go
You're so
online, you
good.
can find the application form and sign up and get in touch if you want to learn a little bit more about 100 Women Who Care or 100 High Schoolers Who Care,
Yes,
because
for sure.
it sounds like that's going to be the next big project for you.
In the coming months, yes.
Well, hopefully we'll have you back in the studio to talk once that's all underway, and I think
Hope so.
I applaud the work and the effort that you ladies have been putting in, and the 100 plus other women have been putting in.
Sure.
It's really great to see, and thank you for coming into the studio.
Thank you, Riley.
All right, we'll be back with more news coming up on TV after this. Stay tuned.